from your home. I wrote this tale just to tell you that you're not alone. A phone call, money order, or a visit is all they really yearn for when they off in prison. How I know? Well, they used to be my living until I grabbed my pen and then escaped from prison. A project poet writing rhyme past the margin. I had a dream that Dr. King was still marching. Tell from the pen.
So here we are, conclusion of the NFL season, man. So in a nutshell, man, what did y'all actually think of the season as far as just thinking about how the new drafts came in, but even more so, like that whole Colin Kaepernick situation for a lot of people in the black community, we feel like he got blackballed, you know, because of the stance he took, you know what I mean, with the national anthem thing. Then, you know, it was like a big dilemma after that because you had so many players following his lead by, you know, taking a seat, kneeling or whatever, with their silent protest. And it's like, you know, you had the media, they basically try to paint a new narrative as if people are disrespecting the flag.
And the soldiers.
Yeah, Donald Trump, like basically was, you know, pushing that forward. Then you know what I mean, you had a lot of black people wanting to boycott the NFL as a whole because of the Colin Kaepernick thing.
Right.
Then you had white people want to boycott the NFL because they feel like the players are disrespecting the flag. So it's like
right.
The NFL just really, I feel like they just really took a big hit this year.
But how can you, I don't understand, like how can you say that when you got soldiers that's saying that that's not disrespectful, that he was in the right for doing that. You got own soldiers that fought for this country that's saying that, and then, you know what I'm saying?
I would say more importantly, with Colin Kaepernick, they did blackball him, first of all, for taking a stand for civil rights and what it meant for African American athletes to stand up and pledge allegiance to the flag and sing the national anthem.
Right.
And it does not represent what's going on as far as civil rights and equality in our community.
Right.
And that's what we're not addressing as a community and as a whole. You feel what I'm saying? Now, Colin Kaepernick took a knee and basically became a hero for the community now.
Yeah.
Right? And pretty much a martyr because of the way that they blackballed him and basically said because of his protest, his athletic ability means nothing to the NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Knowing, you know, he took San Francisco to a Super Bowl. They lost, but he took them to a Super Bowl.
Right.
So he's a very gifted and talented athlete to even make it to that level.
Right.
But for him taking a stand, they silenced him by blackballing him.
Then, you know, he took allegations against them because, you know, he's suing them now, basically for collusion. Basically, like all the owners, you know, got together. Basically, we're not
right, because it jeopardized the financial structure of professional sports, not just football, but if they let that ride and have to make some kind of adjustments within the NFL and professional football, they would have to do it in NBL and the NBA. They would have to do that all around the board because that national anthem means something totally different for black people, African Americans, than it does for white Americans and other Americans.
Yeah, I think the national anthem, man, it means different things to different people, you know. Just like some black people look at the rebel flag and it represents something to them. It's like a representation of racism or something.
Right.
But you might have some white people, they looking at it and it just means pride for them. You know what I'm saying? I seen a dude had a flag and it said pride, not prejudice. And I looked into it, I'm like, damn, I never thought it like that. But then again, I can't see the world through his eyes. You see what I'm saying? And I think
Right.
that's the big problem with the NFL. It's like it's a disconnection. They're not realizing that the league is 70% black. You know what I mean?
They realize, they know that.
But what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
it's 70% black, but all the owners are white.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Same slave master,
yeah.
slave, the same oppression type thing going on.
I mean,
like we had with slavery.
you look at it like this. As I get into these topics, it basically break down like this. Okay, you got the NFL, you got 32 white owners. 7% of the players are black, but 70% of all quarterbacks on NFL starting rosters are white.
Okay.
And the quarterback position is the most important position in football, maybe the most important position in all the sports. Think about it. And for a long time, they was trying to paint the picture that the white quarterback had an edge on the black quarterback because they could beat them. You know what I'm saying? And they were just trying to say the black quarterback was just more athletic, he could run. You see what I'm saying? And the reason I say that because I feel like it's a double standard what's going on in the NFL when it comes to black quarterback versus white quarterbacks. And I'm gonna tell you why. You take, for instance, Cam Newton. Anything he say or do is kind of, you know,
Scrutinize a little harder, criticize harder.
Yeah, he scrutinized and criticized a lot harder. When after the Super Bowl, when they lost, and he didn't shake Peyton Manning's hand, they made a big deal about it.
Right.
But just a couple weeks ago, New England
Tom
lost.
Brady.
Tom Brady did not shake Nick Foles' hand. He swept it up under the rug.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
He's a 5-time Super Bowl champion, so
Okay. But at the same time, they seen in this same year they showed Tom Brady on the sideline snapping on his offensive coordinator, Josh McDaniels, snapping on him, going off. You know what I'm saying? This offensive coach was beneath him. But if that would have been Odell Beckham or a black quarterback doing that, they would have made a big deal about it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then you just think about it. For instance, you got Bill Roethlisberger. Home was accused of rape. You know what I'm saying? More than once. You feel what I'm saying?
and he
And still played.
In my opinion, when you pay them off, you are guilty. He paid
Yeah.
all of them. When you pay them off, you guilty. When you settle out of court,
they definitely signed the guilt.
you're guilty.
But but at the same time, he's looked at and revered in the NFL to a higher
And
plateau
he's still going
than
to the
some
Hall
of
of Fame.
the other black quarterbacks. The point I'm trying to make, for instance, look at Vince Young. He won the Heisman Trophy, came out of Texas, won the national championship, went to the Tennessee Titans. He had an okay career. Then at the end of it, he got real good. He went on that run. They went like 13-3. They had the best record in the NFL. They won like 10 straight games. They lost in the playoffs. The next year was a contract year. I think he didn't perform as well. He had an injury or two. They ended up cutting this man. So 2 years after having the best record in the NFL, he's cut.
That's crazy.
You feel me? Okay, now you look at RG3, Robert Griffin III. He came out at the same time, him and Andrew Luck.
Yep.
They was kind of compared, right? But here it is now. RG3, he suffered some injuries, so have Andrew Luck. But the people in Indianapolis in the NFL, they stand behind Andrew Luck. Still to this day, he got a job. RG3 been out of the league about 2-3 years now.
I ain't even heard of him.
Exactly. So it's like it's just a big. I don't know, man.
Well, with RG3, he suffered some real tough injuries.
He did.
Then he not only did he suffer injuries, they put him on the back burner for a while. So he wasn't popping. He wasn't really making any noise. So when he went out the league, he didn't go out the league on top, so to speak. He went out the league quiet. It was kind of a silent departure.
The only point I'm trying to make is that they get rid of the black quarterback a lot faster than the white quarterback. Because some of these black quarterbacks, they get rid potential to be a backup quarterback.
True.
At
You know,
least.
at least, or a third string quarterback clip holder. You mean to
Yeah.
tell me?
They did that to Doug Williams.
Yeah, this man won a Super Bowl. They eased him out the league. So what I'm saying is,
Crazy.
okay, not only that, look at it from this perspective. The 2018 NFL draft coming up in April. All they talking about is these quarterbacks. They talking about Josh Rosen, Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, and what's the boy from Oklahoma?
Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield.
I like
They ain't
Baker
even
Mayfield.
talking about the boy from Louisville, Lamar Jackson, the black boy.
Yeah.
They talking about a position change.
Yep. And part of that goes to his process of preparing him for the game. Now, a lot of times, no. Let me tell you something. Lamar Jackson is an excellent runner. He's a good thrower too, but he's known for running the ball. What they do to these black quarterbacks, just like they did with Michael Vick, they're underdeveloped by the time they come out of college. The reason why all them boys that you named that a quarterback that they talking about, we don't know who the hell they are. The only one that really got a good name is Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
But they have been through the real training, real NFL training.
Who would say
And it-
Lamar
you know,
Jackson ain't went through them same
It shows on the field.
Not necessarily. What
It shows on the field.
what's wrong with how he play on the field?
No, it's nothing wrong with how you play. No, there's nothing wrong with how you play on the field. But it just shows like Jalen Hurts, for an example. While we talking about college quarterbacks.
No, we talking about Lamar Jackson. Let's stay over here.
No, they wanted to say
We talking about that.
they're running quarterbacks that are not developed as passing pocket quarterbacks that's ready for the NFL for the next level. That's how they are coordinated together.
No,
You know what I
that's
mean?
a perception. And that's what I'm getting to.
No.
That's all perception.
No, that's not a perception. That's
That
real.
is a perception.
That's real. These
These
quarterbacks, most of the black quarterbacks are not developed as players, not all-around players.
People go to the same count. Efficiency meaning passing efficiency. They ain't got nothing to do with his running, because we know what he was doing running the ball and passing the ball. He broke all kind of records. They had to give him a Heisman Trophy as a sophomore. And his team really didn't win but 9 games. So he was just that good. Then last year, his junior year, he had even better stats. But the team still wasn't good. You see what I'm saying? So they were like, well, we can't get to him again. This team ain't won over 8, 9 games. I understand that point. But what I'm saying is, it's a perception that if you black and you a running quarterback, you may not be good enough to stand in the pocket.
That is a perception.
Right,
But the truth behind it is they are not developing these running quarterbacks for the next level. A lot of it is pure talent.
Man, listen,
And that's incredible. That's incredible.
listen. You got what you
But
call.
even with the pure talent, I feel like they can be good enough to lead a team in the NFL.
That's all it's
No,
about.
they can be.
It's a law.
They can be. Like, okay, for example, a white quarterback that they did not train during college, and you can tell he did not have that training. Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
Tim Tebow did not have a training to be a passing quarterback.
Yeah.
And so he came into the league, and they tried everything to make it work for Tim
No,
Tebow.
they didn't. That's the problem.
They didn't?
That's the problem.
It is not. No, Lamar
Tebow.
Jackson, and who was the other quarterback you just named? The black quarterback you just named?
I was talking about
No, my bad. Lamar Jackson. They'll never give Lamar Jackson the chance they gave Tim Tebow to start on any one of these teams out here. After he so-called was sucking, he wasn't no good. They'll never give him those chances.
The thing they didn't like about Tim Tebow was his mechanics, right?
Right.
Because they were prepared.
But they also
to
tried
win
to
the game.
change his position.
But see, this is
Right.
the thing. Because all this stuff is perception. I'm going back. So, but my thing is this. The perception, you can use Tim Tebow being that he was a running quarterback. He was a running quarterback in high school. He was a running quarterback in college. But he could also pass. But he had an unorthodox throwing motion
Right.
that they said wasn't traditional.
Right.
But that did not stop him from throwing the ball. It did not stop him from being a leader to lead a team. He led the Denver Broncos to the playoff
and won.
No. It didn't stop him. It didn't
You know
stop him.
So,
But what
would
took him to the next level and won those games?
At the end of the day, my point is this: at the end of the day, just because a person don't throw in a certain form, that doesn't mean that he can't play quarterback. You feel what I'm saying? The prototypical quarterback that they looking for is somebody from 6'3" to 6'6". You know what I'm saying? They can make all the throws in the pocket.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? We
Make
know
quick decisions, know how to read
the prototypical quarterback is, but no quarterback is made the same.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? No quarterback is made the same.
No athlete.
So as a coach, your job is to take these players and you got to be able to suit your offense to fit their skill set. So that's what goes wrong. See, when Shanahan was in Washington with RG3, he realized that, and they went with the zone and the read option and the RPO run pass option to fit his skill set.
That's the dumbed down offense for players and quarterbacks like RG3, Lamar Jackson, Tim Tebow. They are not skilled enough to play at a high level like.
It ain't that. It's just they built for a different type of offense.
Skill set. It ain't about being dumbed down. It's about being. You got to be able to diversify your offense to fit the talent on your team. If you got Michael Vick, then true. Michael Vick is a totally different quarterback than Aaron Rodgers. So you can't come with the same exact offense.
But he falls in the same category as Lamar Jackson and RG3 and Tim Tebow. He falls in the same category as those quarterbacks because the offense coordinator have to accommodate to their lack.
It ain't about being a lack. It's just a different skill set. See, that's a perception that it's a lack. It's not a lack.
No, it's not a perception. That's just the truth. That's just the truth. They don't have the proper skill set.
They got a different skill set. That not mean everyone got the proper skill set. Who to say that's the proper skill set?
No,
because football is forever evolving.
It's forever evolving. True.
So it's not
the new quarterback can run and he can pass. The old way is sitting in that pocket and that don't work. And so what was happening was you have other quarterbacks coming out that can run and they can pass.
It worked for Tom Brady.
It was mostly geared down and it was broke back down to where you're doing a read option. Listen, the reason why Cam Newton did not win the Super Bowl, in my opinion, was because he is an excellent quarterback. But they tried to change the game plan, and they, in my opinion, they dumbed it down to more read option. And they do that a lot for Cam because he is a running quarterback. Read option is a college formation. It's not an NFL thing. So when you bring that to the NFL, you dumbing it down for these players on the next level.
No, you ain't calling. Nick Foles in Philadelphia just won a Super Bowl running RPO.
Yep.
That's what's going on.
Yep.
That's the new
Nick Foles said for himself. Nick Foles said for himself though. He said for himself. He said, I don't want it hard. I want it to be easy. So let's run the read option. He didn't want to have to think too much.
It ain't about thinking, man. It's about playing football, man.
It's about reaction, man.
Exactly. When you
have to think and you have to
coach the game. That's how you add
right.
Blue,
You got to keep it simple, man. Football is a simple game, man. Sports is simple. Sometimes you overthink the shit, overcomplicate the shit. You feel what I'm saying? You just got to go with the flow. You know what I mean? But the point that I was trying to stay on top of was that different players got different skill sets. Just because a player's skill set is different, that doesn't make him a less effective player than this player.
Everybody ain't the quarterback out there, and everybody ain't the lineman. Everybody ain't the receiver.
San Francisco had two totally different quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. But it was they had Joe Montana first, right? He was the prototypical quarterback. Then they got Steve Young. This man was a left-hand running quarterback. You feel what I'm saying? So it's just two different skill sets. But guess what? They won with both of them because they were both good quarterbacks and good leaders. As a quarterback, that's the main thing you want. You want somebody with good leadership skill and a good decision maker. Somebody who ain't gonna turn the ball over. To me, it don't matter how tall you is or what your throwing motion is. You know what I mean? Tim Tebow had an ugly throwing motion, true enough. You feel what I'm saying? But I feel like if they would have stayed with him and gave him a better shot, he could have succeeded in the NFL. But John Elway didn't believe in it, and they let him go.
Right.
And that's, now he's trying to play baseball or whatever. I don't think it's going to
Like I
work.
said, no other quarterback will ever get the chances that Tim Tebow have gotten with commentating, playing baseball, moving from. Listen, Bill Belichick took a chance and drafted Tim Tebow. Come on, like that's the one team right there.
Tebow is a hell of an athlete.
He is a hell of an athlete, but he wouldn't change his position, and nobody else was going to take a chance.
I wouldn't change my position.
I wouldn't have changed it either, because they recruited him as a damn quarterback.
And he was a good quarterback.
They recruited him for playing
They
quarterback.
just didn't believe in him because they didn't like his mechanics. He wasn't the prototypical quarterback. So they didn't have smart enough coaches to fit his skill set because he don't won championships on every level.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So even if
College is not NFL.
he won in NFL. He went to the playoff and won in the playoff. What I'm saying is they felt like they didn't want to keep him because guess what they did? They went and got Peyton Manning. And you can't blame him for that.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
He was just better than he was.
You know what I mean?
Better.
Peyton Manning, Hall of Famers are down right. I'm gonna get him. Tim Tebow, we want you, but we don't really want you as quarterback.
What do it take for like Peyton Manning to come and take like Tebow's spot? What? It was just a different skill set.
No, it's a Hall of Famer, and you knew this already. He was a Hall of Famer. He already won a Super Bowl. So if I'm a GM, I'm gonna take Peyton Manning over Tim Tebow.
No brainer.
It's a no-brainer. Yeah. But Tim Tebow's so good as a person and an athlete, we want to keep you, but we'd rather have you as a tight end or an H-back.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Just trying to run the ball with him like Wildcat with Tim Tebow.
You better have a player like that in your locker room.
They just use him for the Wildcat around the goal line.
Exactly. So, but he didn't want to do that. He said, "Fuck that. I want to play quarterback." You know what I'm saying? And I felt him, but at the end of the day, when he went to the other teams, it was the mechanics what was throwing him off. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So they really never just gave him a shot. He never went nowhere else and got another quarterback gig to start 16 games and see what he can do. It ain't like he left and started 16 games and went 4-12. He just never really got that second chance.
Right.
So he lost his ambition for like, man, I'm not finna let y'all make me out no tight end. Nigga, I'm a quarterback, man. Fuck y'all.
Yeah.
Right? So he just went and did something else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But but at the same time, think about the NFL. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's a lot of they suffer like the worst year in ratings in a long time. Like the Super Bowl, it was the least watched Super Bowl
due to Kevin Kapernick taking the knee.
Yeah, all
and losing. They lost a lot of money. You're right. They lost a lot of money. They lost a lot of support. They lost a lot of sponsors.
And I think the main thing what it was about, and I'm glad they lost because it was the media. It was how they tried to turn Colin Kaepernick, his message. They tried to turn it around. They tried to flip it around to something it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? They tried to make it out the flag, but it really wasn't even about it. You know what I'm saying? They tried to paint a new narrative. So it confused everybody. So they really wanted to just get people, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Boycotting they shit from both angles, black people and white people. You know what I'm saying? So they just lose situation. But they should be able to learn something from the NBA. That's the next point I was getting at, because in the NBA, they understand that most of the players are black. They understand that their star players are black. They understand that they need these players in order for their league to thrive. Right. So they stand behind their players. Players like LeBron, D-Wade, all these Chris Paul, they let these people have voices. They give them a platform. They let them speak their mind from, inner cities, growing up poor. He is the true American dream. Right. So it's a lot of kids can relate to that. You know what I mean? So for him to come from where he came from to get to where he at is being like the best athlete of his generation, like, you know what I mean? So he got a story to tell. So when he put it out there, you know what I mean, the NBA stand behind, you know what I mean? Just like they had the media lady trying to come at him, you know what I mean?
Right.
She was slick on some racist shit or whatever, but the commissioner, he stood behind his players. So in the NFL, they don't really do that. They try to suppress and try to hush their players.
Right.
They don't give their players no voice. Like you say, they more of like a slave master type of
mentality
that they put out there. And they get to my next point. I feel like the reason that is because of the lack of minority ownership in the NFL. You got no black owners. But if you look at the NBA, I can name 4 or 5 off the top of my head.
Right.
Herschel, he's got ownership of Cleveland, partial ownership, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson.
The Magic Johnson,
you know what I'm saying? Even Nelly got ownership of the team. You know what I mean? And so on and so on. You feel what I'm saying? 2 Chainz trying to get ownership with the Hawks. And so when you got black people in ownership positions, you know, it just make everything more smooth, especially with a black league.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So, but in the NFL, you got all these black players, 70% of the players black, but all the owners white. So it's a divide right there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So in the NFL, their whole thing is nothing bigger than the Shield. You know what I'm saying? That's what they own. So either you with it or you can get the hell on. That's how they look at it. You just feel them in the NFL. So they really don't stand behind their players like a lot of time Cam Newton, some of these other big time players, the situations that come up and the NFL try to throw them up under the bus. Like, you know, I keep going back to Cam because I feel like he get the short end of the NFL stick all the time, man. Just like this past year, he made, it was a female reporter was talking to him, and he laughed. And he was like, crazy, a woman talking about sport like
I
this.
seen
You know what I'm saying? And
They
blew it way out of proportion.
proportion.
You know what I'm saying? They blew it way out of proportion and threw him all up on the bus. He lost all kind of endorsements and sponsorships and stuff like that.
But it's true though, like, I mean, how many females just sit up and watch football? Like,
Yeah, that's what he said. To him, it was like amazing, you know, or whatever.
yeah,
But
it blew his mind.
Yeah, they took it to a whole another concept, and then she tried to throw gas on it. Yeah, I was so offended. But then when they do the background on her, she been tweeting out racist shit, you know what I'm saying, on Twitter years ago. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. You know what I mean? So I just look at it like, man.
Now, and even with Cam Newton, he did around that same time. He said something about Colin Kaepernick. Well, matter of fact, he didn't say anything. And they asked him, "What do you think about Colin Kaepernick taking the knee? And would you do this? Would you support such and such and such?" And he was just like, "Nah, that's him. He's doing his own thing."
Exactly, but see, sometimes you got to look at it from Cam's perspective. Cam is a scapegoat, so that's a setup. They set him up, so he can't win or lose. They really trying to see what side he on. If he would have tried to stand with him,
Right.
they would have came at him and came for him. If he go against him, the black people go come for him or come at him. So he was in a no-win situation. So he just had to do the best thing, which is defer, man. That's that man own situation what he got going on. Cam already got enough going on with himself, to be honest. Because he heavily scrutinized.
But it's gonna take something like that to make a change. Like,
The change will come to somebody like Aaron Rodgers, one of the white quarterbacks, stand with Kaepernick.
You got a good
Another
point.
black,
You got a good point.
They ain't gonna make no change. They gonna try to put them together, try to blackball him next.
You
feel
got a
what I'm
good
saying? It
point.
gonna have to be like when Howie Long's son, Chris Long, when he stood with his teammate Malcolm Jenkins, the boy from Philly. When he stood with him, that was big.
right.
Because Howie Long, he's a Hall of Famer. Played for the Raiders, now he'll commentator. So he called all the big games. So he spoke about it because he had to. Remember, his son stood with these folks. So they asked Howie Long about it. Howie Long.
And he worked for Fox.
Yeah,
so you know what's going on with that.
Really, as I can ever hear any white man keep. He said, "Well, you know, I looked at this thing from every angle I could." He said, "But when it boiled down," he said, "I don't know what it feels like to be a black man in America." He said, "I just don't. I can't imagine." He said, "Because I'm white." You know what I'm saying? He said, "But I guarantee you, from the outside looking in, I know it's different.
Yeah.
You know, he said, so being that I can't see life through their eyes, I really can't, judge and point fingers and say what's wrong or what's right. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I know that we all human. He just kept it like that, you know what I'm saying? So basically what he was saying is like a lot of people with this flag shit, they trying to make people see life through their eyes.
Right.
Like how white people perceive that flag and what it means to them, it don't mean the same thing to black people. And that basically what Howard Long understood. And that's what he was saying. Just like when the white guy went up there, went to the University of Virginia, what part of Virginia, Charlottesville, when they had them tikis and shit, they were, up there protesting, right? And talking about General Ely statue and all this and that, you know what I mean? But they went to loot and trying to start some riots and shit.
And somebody got killed because one of their protesters,
Exactly.
the white nationalists, ran over a protester from
Exactly.
the white, whatever they were on the other side,
And Donald Trump went to bat trying to, stick up for these folks.
Yeah.
No, they were just peaceful protesters.
It was good people on
Good
both
people,
sides.
good
That's what he
people on
said.
both sides. But somebody died.
Somebody
Right.
died.
But you got
As a
so much
result
to say.
of what these white supremacists did.
Exactly. But
Right.
you got so much negative stuff to say about Colin Kaepernick and these people who peacefully protesting by taking
Right.
the knee. You keep talking about they disrespecting the flag, but you're not even thinking about what the protest is actually about. Address that. And that's what had me upset and the rest of the black community upset because y'all not addressing the social injustices what's going on. And this is why they are kneeling.
And what the national anthem actually stands for. When you go into the third and the fourth verse, which we all know, the national anthem is the first verse of 4 of the Star Spangled Banner. When you go into all 4 verses of the Star Spangled Banner, they start talking about in the third verse how they were mad at these African Americans fighting with the British or with the North against the South. And they were mad about that and talking about how they were going to kill them and we're not going to feel sorry for it because of what these African Americans did during the Civil War. The fourth verse, they say, so Star Spangled Banner, so bravely and all that. And this is our motto, in God we trust. So every time you sing the national anthem, and you represent the South or the sons of the Confederacy, right? You're saying this is our motto and this is what we're going to continue doing. This is what it represents for us. So automatically, when you have a problem, and I understand that the national anthem, because that's what it was all about, the national anthem and what it meant to civil rights and equality for African Americans in America, and in sports and in every avenue, everything that we have going on, not just entertainment, everything, our whole culture and way of life. So what Colin Kaepernick did by taking a knee was simply saying that, okay, no more. No more are we going to represent this because it does not represent us. And if you are representing this flag, you don't represent us. But they changed the narrative and said that we're not representing and showing respect to the country and to the soldiers. And then the other part of that was if they were really thinking and wanted to keep us in line, which really that's all they're trying to do is find different ways to keep us in line, they would change the national anthem. Because if you would have changed the national anthem to Amazing Grace, black people would shut up. It would have been over with. And we would just shut the job and be cooning into Amazing Grace and feeling like we won and we had a victory.
I think
that's the same type of situation though. Like in the NFL, you got these superstar white quarterbacks. They won't stand up and have a voice. So these politicians, they not gonna stand up, and the white people that's in power, they not gonna stand up and have a voice for us either.
Right.
exactly. I think you go on about that national anthem thing. I think everybody got their own stance. I think, like, to be honest with you, being that this is a free country, I think you should have the freedom to decide whether or not you want to stand for it.
Right.
And I think if you don't, then that's just your prerogative.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Simple as that. Because this is a free country. You know what I mean? People got freedom of religion. If you want to worship Lucifer, the devil himself, you got the freedom to do that.
Ain't nobody got nothing.
You feel what I'm saying? So
Can't do nothing
if you
about
can
it.
do that,
And they do it.
exactly, they do it because, not to get too far off the subject. Actually, that's like fastest growing religion right now. Google it, Will. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. But the crazy thing about that, so if that's cool to do that, how the hell you gonna make somebody stand up for the national anthem if they don't want to?
They gotta rewrite the rules of the league, though.
Right. So
That's something that's within
it's not a
football
mandate.
league.
It's not a mandate. It's not a mandate. It's not a mandate. They just, assume that everybody go do it, but you don't have to do it.
No, you don't.
It's not a mandate at all. See, that's the thing, and that's where a lot of the controversy come in because people are trying to make people do stuff. These are grown men.
Right.
Yeah.
Nothing you don't want to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? So then it goes on like, well, it's a privilege to be in the NFL,
That's just a rich slave.
Yeah, right.
It's a rich slave.
I mean, he got there because he worked for it.
We'll take that privilege away from you. So that's why they use Kapernick as the fall guy.
Slave.
The slave, we don't look at his back. Look what happened to you when you know what I'm saying? As far as, social justice and just the star athletes using their platforms to push for positivity and unity throughout the whole United States, because right now that's what we lacking, man. We got too much division.
And all they want from us, you know what I'm saying, just keep it short on the same subject. All they want from us really is just to keep entertaining them. All they want from us is our entertainment. They don't want our economics. They don't want our businesses to thrive. They don't want our communities to thrive. They want us for entertainment, period. When we stop entertaining them and start entertaining us in our own culture, in our own community, for our own profit, then we'll start to win. But everything is structured. I mean, we raise our little kids up and we tell them, look, you're going to go to the NBA, you're going to buy mama a big old house, you're going to buy dad a big old house, and you're going to represent for your family and be rich one day. But it's all based on entertainment.
Yeah.
We got to start doing it for ourselves. That's what it's really about.
Yeah, but at the same time, everybody is individual, you know what I mean? And then at this point where we at in the world, we in the eon of Horus. That's the eon of the sun. That's the eon of self-realization and awakening. That's why you got so many people around here are just openly calling themselves God, openly not believing in God, openly being atheists, or believing in all kind of other stuff, you know what I mean? Because it's the eon that we're living in, right? I don't want to expound too much on that, but that's what's going on. It's just the train of thought that people are on at this point in time. So with that being said, we're all free thinkers, right? And we all got free will, which is the most beautiful thing that God gave us. Thing that the angels actually envy about the human, that we have free will, to do different things. So right now, people are actually cashing in on that right now. Like they,
Right.
I'm gonna exercise that.
Trying to use it.
With that being said, it's just gonna be hard, you know what I'm saying, to want people to move as a unit, as a community, as a race, because that just ain't what's happening. Everybody don't share the same ideologies, you know what I'm saying? So it's basically all you can do is just focus on self and your own home, you know what I'm saying, as far as the direction you want them to go, or your own community. But as far as a whole, that shit has been lost. It's over with. It's over with for that right there. We too far gone now. It's over with. I mean, we done came far.
So you saying it's over with for black unity?
No. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying as far as expectation, as far as expecting
Us to come together.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Don't expect us to come together.
No, because it's too much individualism going on. Everybody exercising.
There's too much money tied up in not unite with black people.
That's the whole gear behind this system. That's what keep it operating. The more they divide us, the more they conquer us.
But we divide ourselves too, though. We can't blame all our pitfall on the man.
Oh no, true. I mean, but every system that we know that's known to us was given to us by somebody. We didn't create nothing that we operate in, and nothing that we practice right now. Nothing that we practice in, nothing that we operating in.
We create hip hop. They didn't give us that. We formed a whole new culture because what we got to look at and why we got to appreciate hip hop for what it is. When we came over here from them ships, we got stripped of all our African culture. We got stripped of our tongue, stripped of our religion, stripped of everything. So we had to start over. I agree. But the soul was always in us. So that's why we, the dancing and the drum, that just was in us anyway. So they wanted us to entertain them because we entertain us. Just by nature.
And the other part of what I was just looking at this yesterday morning, or I think it was this morning, and the other part of that, and the reason why I spoke on the entertaining thing was because we still were very energized and upbeat and very uplifted, you know what I mean? Still through everything that we went through.
What kind of people we are.
And even then, they allow us to entertain them on Saturday night and then wake up and go to church and be involved in that and everything. But one of the main things were they allowed us to entertain them. So over the years, that was our way of escaping somewhat the oppression.
Exactly.
By entertaining them.
Exactly.
And we still doing it to this day.
Exactly. But when I say creative song, when I say hip hop, is that we created a whole new culture. You know what I'm saying? A whole new way of life. There's something we can call ours. So now you got so many people running in, culture vultures, as we call them, and capitalizing off our culture. And one of the biggest things that they're doing that I see is that, they quickly giving all these people these endorsements and these different deals.
They still gonna find a way to make money off something we created.
Right. And that's the main thing. We're not the main ones cashing in off of the hip hop that we putting out. And that's why I said what I said. Okay. When we stop entertaining them and entertaining ourselves for our own profit and for our own gain and benefit, because a lot of times, with the endorsement, like you said, and the deals and stuff, we do feel like, okay, we are getting something out of this. But when you have, just a quick example, Dr. Dre sold beats for $1 billion. Any one of us would be like, you know what, I'm cashing into, right?
Yeah.
After taxes, it was like 800 million. But how long ago was that? How much money have they made since then off of that?
You already know that.
Exactly. Yeah. The only thing they understand is money. So, of course, when it comes down to some of the things that we can do to make things different, etc., but one of the main things is get involved in economics.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And they will, when I say they, the government, the white people, whatever, they do understand money. So once we get involved in economics, they're going to say, you know what, hold on, wait a minute. They were drawing from this level of entertainment that we got them on, this system of entertainment that we got them on, and our pockets are. You remember dude from Papa John's over the Colin Kaepernick thing and the national anthem thing, the dude from the own Papa John's, he said he lost $2 million and he went crazy. He was like, oh man, these niggas don't went crazy. They protesting and dropping these. I done lost $2 million.
Yeah, it was a lot of money.
That's $2 in comparison to what he have made off of us over the years.
Exactly.
So what I'm saying, once we get involved in economics, and it's just a simple technicality, because we are more engaging and invested in their level in ways of economics and not our own. But we just went out in 2 days and spent $400 million on a movie that didn't benefit us.
It did. It benefited.
As far as, visually and us seeing that was great.
Yeah.
Just like we see your boy throwing a touchdown, Cam Newton throwing a touchdown and running a touchdown. It's the same level of entertainment.
Yeah, I think.
You're right.
But you gotta look at it.
We just getting the pennies off of it.
I look at it like this for that Black Panther movie. It was a powerful movie. I ain't even seen it yet.
Right.
But the most powerful thing about it is the awakening and the self-pride, the feeling of that blackness, because that's what you need to push forward thing that we speaking on now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They need to know that we ascendants from kings and queens.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So they go make you connect better, you know what I'm saying, with your comedic side. And then you able to put that thing in motion. But at the same time, from an economic standpoint, it brought a lot of money in. And the director was black, a 31-year-old black man. You know what I'm saying? They gave him a $200 million budget. You know what I'm saying? So
The cast was largely black,
so
everything.
When they give you that kind of money, they already know it's gonna break the bank.
Right.
They already know this, you know what I'm saying? But it just opened up so many opportunities moving forward.
Right.
You know what I mean? But not only that, they filmed the majority of the movie at Tyler Perry Studio. That's another black man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it was a real black movie, you know what I mean? But Marvel, you know, pretty much everybody over there, they white, but it's cool. The world ain't about black and white.
Right, right. That's what Marvel represent anyway, with the different heroes and different characters.
But see, what I'm saying is, black people, our main thing is we are involved in economics. But the thing is, we got to just focus on buying black and shopping.
True.
You feel what I'm saying? That basically what it boiled down to, and then focused on coming together collectively to ownership of things to the point where we can start get another black bank. Because we had one back in the day, you know what I'm saying? But we need another one.
No, we had a major one. We still have a lot of black banks.
Yeah,
we have a lot of black businesses right now.
Black banks.
And something very interesting that I did not recently, when I made a post, and I was like, okay, just in our area, how many people can name a black business? So got everybody cashing in. It's a lot of black businesses, right? And I was like, okay, cool. Now, out of all the black businesses that we named, what are the ones that we did not name? And out of all the ones we had named, there's so many barbershops, beauty salons, hair stores, so many restaurants, and let's say like little, what else do we do in our community?
Shop, like they got some boutiques and stuff.
Like boutiques, is okay, clothes, starting our own gear. So I was like, wow, those are some great names, and I'm glad for everybody, I appreciate everybody for participating. But what we did not name that we own in our community are schools, banks, and grocery stores.
In a hospital.
And a hospital.
Yeah.
We have churches, you know what I'm saying, where we invest, not trying to knock the church, but I have to start with the church first because it is the most organized, structured, financial institution that we have in our communities.
Yeah.
And we invest more money into our more finances into our spirituality than our vitality. Why is there not a First Baptist neighborhood Stop and Shop on every corner?
I don't know, man.
But I'm saying, like, I just feel like the reason why we haven't started there, but back to my point, we had black businesses and we still have black businesses, and we had a black bank back then. And when we talk about Tulsa, Oklahoma, where the dollar circulated in the community 7 times before it left and went into the hands of somebody else or another ethnic group or another economic echelon, this way it was structured, whatever. We have to understand that Tulsa, Oklahoma was a direct product from the UNIA and the movement that Marcus Garvey started. That was a seed, that was a child, a product of that movement. So to understand what it took to make the black banks and the schools and the hospitals and stuff that we actually need ownership of in our community to change the outcome of some of the things, the tragedies that happen within those, little same things, is follow that structure, that blueprint that Garvey laid out.
We need better leadership, man. That's what we lack.
True.
As a nation.
We gotta stop waiting on one person to do it. We all leaders.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is we don't, if you think about it, like back in the day, like almost every era in black history, modern black history, we always had some powerful leaders.
True.
You know what I'm saying? But now, you think about it, who are the leaders?
Right.
right now.
No, we do have.
I
leaders.
think that started in the schools though.
It's
Think
not
about it,
school,
think about it,
it's
think
our
about
own
it.
too. We have leaders.
Think about it. The same people we studied in school, they should probably still studying now. Y'all agree or disagree?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
The
But there's so
curriculum, the
many-
curriculum. That's what we're
Yeah.
talking about, right? The curriculum, yeah, of course.
But like in American history, like they still studying the same people. We need to. I think that need to
it
change.
got a lot to do with the curriculum, you know what I'm saying? Because that the cafe, you can homeschool your kid if you just not, happy with the curriculum. Leadership don't necessarily come from, an educational background. You take mathematics and you build pimp. You feel what I'm saying? Just straight up.
But he self-educated himself to a level to where he was
He
able to make
he
a
met Elijah Poole from Sanibel, Georgia, who eventually became the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Who educated him on a lot of things. See, Elijah Muhammad, he came up as a Christian first, but he felt like that wasn't for him, so he made his pilgrimage. He landed in Detroit. He met Master Fard Muhammad, who he said appeared to him in the form of God, but that's a whole another topic.
Right.
Go there. But what I'm saying is, so home enlightening him to some things about the black man. You know what I mean? And gave him a lot of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. He ran with it. You feel what I'm saying? And he started the Nation of Islam. And he put out a curriculum, you know what I'm saying, and a faith-based spiritual, teaching to these brothers. You know what I mean? So how you been putting it down in the form of the white man being the devil, later on in life when Malcolm X actually made his pilgrimage to Mecca, which is one of the things that's required in Islam for you to do. And he went over there and seen all these different people from different races and backgrounds. He felt like Master Elijah Muhammad lied to him.
Right. The movement was not really right.
But what it was though,
betrayed.
but that's how he felt. But at the end of the day, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was saying that he was teaching them that because at the time that was necessary. You feel what I'm saying? Because that what was going on. People wasn't. He didn't want to tell you about the devil or some mythical person down here with fire and horns and a pitchfork. You know what I'm saying? No, we go teach you this curriculum to the people, the evil who doing evil to you that you see
Every day.
every day.
The devil, the living devil.
The living devil,
right.
the walking devil.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
It's
saying?
right here. No.
So that's why he brought it on that level. You know what I'm saying? So I say all that just to say, it's all kind of different curriculums. You know what I mean? Teachings, because just off of that one teaching, so many more branched off of that. Like Clarence 13X, he started the nations of gods and earth. We better know what the 5 persons. You know what I'm saying? And somebody else broke that down and the next thing you know, they made a blood game based off of that. You know what I'm saying? So everything keep getting broke off and branched off. So
Right.
to me, it's not all
Those systems were made for that time.
Yeah, for that time.
Right, and I agree with that, man. And I definitely feel like, okay, now let's take that into perspective. During the 60s, we had, speaking on where are our leaders, you know what I mean? And I've spoken that before. Where are our leaders, our strongest and our brightest minds, the ones who's supposed to lead the community? Now, they are definitely still here, but they're leading in the wrong things. Like we have, like these, a lot of, like you said, gangs and stuff were started to protect our community. And a lot of organizations as well, like the Black Panther movement, was started to protect our community. So during that time, we had a certain idea of what we wanted in our community, what we wanted in it, and what we wanted it to be about, and what we were about. We had a certain identity. And our leaders back then of the community, our strongest and our brightest minds of the 60s, right? Malcolm X, Martin Luther King during that era, we did not allow drugs in our community. And that was the men saying no drugs, right? Then we all know that not one black man bring a gun into our community or make a gun or build one in our community, and then not one black man bring the drugs and start growing drugs in our community. So they implanted this stuff in our community, right? Now, the greed and the addiction is what caused all of that to start the snowball effect, and that ball just got bigger and bigger. You feel what I'm saying? To the point where it started taking everybody down and influencing and enticing those leaders of our community to where they were addicted to more drugs and money than the preservation of our community and our culture and our traditions and what we had going on as a whole.
Yeah, you're right, because I mean,
And that's what we got to get back to, because our leaders are out here.
But not only that, though, you know what I mean? The United States government, you know, in particular, J. Edgar Hoover.
Yeah, Hoover.
The FBI was originally assembled just to take down the Black Panther Party.
Yeah, J. Edgar Hoover go all the way back
That was
to
his main-
Marcus Garvey in 1919.
Garvey was J. Edgar Hoover's first
assignment, COINTELPRO.
So that's what I'm saying. The government, especially J. Edgar Hoover, these folks been specifically targeted and trying to take down our people.
Exactly.
J. Edgar Hoover said out his mouth when the Black Panther movement was at its peak, he said his biggest fear that a black messiahs go arise. They went in, and I mean, every time when Huey P. Newton got locked up, everybody, you know, coming up behind him, they was assassinating these people. You know what I'm saying? Going in, acting like it's an arrest, and he reached for a gun. But nah, they just straight up assassinating our leaders. You know what I mean? From fear that a black messiah will arise. They didn't want that to happen. So here it is, years later, it ain't changed. They still feel the exact same way. But just like Fade was saying, so much greed, envy, and addiction are set in on the leadership, and there's so much corruption, it's hard.
And then we suffering the symptoms of being infected.
It's hard, you know what I mean? Look at Kwame, whatever name was, you know what I mean? This man, the mayor, he corrupt as all that though, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All the people that we put, you know what I'm saying, your faith in, look at T.D. Jakes and some of these pastors with these mega churches, you know what I'm saying? They run around here.
And that's why I say we have to start. That's why I say we got to start with the church.
That bullshit. You
Because
can't start with the church. The church is bullshit.
No, we got to start with the church because it congregates some of the pillars of our community. Some of the most uplifting pillars of our communities that actually run stuff. Now, the people who really moving out here in the streets, who really seeing stuff in real time and experiencing it, and we are more than just a number. Now, it's definitely a lot of us that need to put our foot down and stand up and say, okay, look, on this level, if you around here and around me, this is what we need to do for the community. But the reason why I say go to church, because those preachers,
some bullshit.
those preachers are just like the blind and the Malcolm X that was walking around in darkness. They are just like the Malcolm X before Malcolm X got on to Islam.
How?
It's because Malcolm X, before he got on to Islam, you remember the dude came to him and said, oh, you will kneel on your knees and pick a lock, but you won't pray to God. You'll go out here and rob and steal, but you won't pray to God. Now, I'm not saying these preachers out here robbing and stealing from our community.
The Americans don't even believe in God.
So no, I do understand that, but I'm saying, but okay, now that half of America don't believe, but more than half of America still go to church. So we have to start with the church in our communities, and the reason why is because we have to have our self-community secured on so many different levels. The first is that level of spirituality and the psychology that's going on, this systematic slavery and the systematic oppression is going on. It's mental, it's enslaved. We ain't in slavery no more. The physical part where we walk around in chains, we are enslaved through this systematic system of slavery. It's psychology. And that's why I said it's a technicality. It's just a technicality on how we're being controlled.
Who controlling us?
Really, we controlling ourselves by continuing to buy into this system. Before the NFL, before baseball, before Jackie Robinson ever played baseball, we already had our own leagues. But what I was saying before about that was our mind frame was, let us play with you, not let us play against you. Now our mind frame has to change to not let us play against you. We gonna play against you because they didn't take slaves. They took scientists and doctors and inventors. You see what I'm saying? Farmers, healers, doctors. They didn't take slaves. They turned those people. We have less of those strong pillars of. No. Yeah, we do. We do have that, but we don't have it for our own benefit. That's all I'm saying. It's a technicality. We don't have it for our own benefit.
I'm trying to follow you. I'm trying to see the point you're trying to make, but I just.
I'm saying in relation to trying to go back and okay, because what we're looking for and part of the reason for this conversation, I feel like is, and it's in the back of everybody's mind, at the bottom of everybody's heart. We're trying to find a solution to bring the black community to the point of where we feel like Wakanda. We're trying to bring our community to the highest level, and right now we operate on a high level, but not solely for the black community. That's why we don't have those key components of a community that make up a community.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's like with that, man, it's simple, man. You just gotta buy black and shop black. You know what I'm saying? That's all you got to do. And then as far as what you said that we lacking on the what you say, black schools.
Banks, hospitals,
but
stores, grocery stores.
What about the community that already got all those things? All those things do exist.
And like you said, we just need to invest in them.
Yeah. So when you speaking on far as like a character with your
truth. We want to change the world, but let's be realistic and say,
small.
Let's change our county.
No, I'm just trying to follow him because everything you name it.
Those things exist. But when I said I made a post, and I was and Facebook is very local. Most people, like social media platforms, have developed a certain personality now, right? To where Facebook is kind of localized, Instagram is more international, and Twitter is more international too, Snap is more kind of local and real time. So, you may have people following you from across the world, but what they're seeing of you on Snap is real time. Facebook is more local. A lot of people use that for real time, like, hey, I'm going to the store, and they post a clip. You know what I mean? Why you didn't like my post? You just said you was going to the store. I'm finna go to sleep. You know what I mean? Like, that's real time stuff for Snapchat. So each one of these social platforms have developed a certain personality to the point of where, we do certain stuff on each platform. I know I do. But my point is we have to get back to the solution. The whole point of this is the solution, and we can go and spend out the rest of our adult lives studying the history of black people that's been stolen, hidden, whitewashed, and forgotten.
But a lot of folks already know the history.
That's what I'm saying. But my point is, history means past. Solution means future. So we're trying to figure out the steps we need to take for the future. And the conversation and the thing that's on everybody's mind and at the bottom of everybody's heart is, what is the solution or the format for the black community to reach their plateau to where we Wakanda forever type, you know what I mean? Or where we on that level. And
aiming for it goal-wise, like...
No, I'm saying the point of our conversation is... The point of our conversation...
already happening.
Oh, no, it's definitely happening.
Already in front of your eyes.
No, it's happening already, but it's not happening around here. So I'm saying, of course we want to change the world, but we have to start right here in this county. And what can we do? That's the question that I'm posing to the viewers. I hope y'all leaving comments. Leave a comment on this, man. Fade2Blacc HipHop podcast on YouTube. Hit that bell for the notification. I want y'all comments. I want to know what y'all think.
You talk about Karen. I'm like, I'm on it every word.
Right. But I'm saying this community, this county, let's start right here doing that. And going back, the reason why I was trying to correlate all those things together, because I was going back to the point I was making earlier about what we can do right here in our county, what we need to be doing in our county. So when I made that post about what can anybody name all the black businesses right here in this county, in this city. And after we named those things, we named the things that we don't have in this community. And every time it's banks, it's schools, it's hospitals, and it's grocery stores. So I'm saying, but the point is we looking for a solution.
I'm not.
You're not?
No.
You comfortable, you content?
I'm not still carried to the point as far as that ain't where my mind is. You know what I'm saying? If we don't never get a black grocery store, I'm cool.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? My mind is way beyond this town. You know what I mean? So
True.
That what had me confused because when I was speaking on from a general standpoint of
like the world.
Yeah, black people United Statewide.
I mean, the reason why I say the county is because we can change the county and the other county. Georgia each state got so many counties, like Louisiana got parishes and, so many providences up north and all that. But we can still
a lot of this stuff,
make small change to make a big change. Like, like I said, we want to change the world, but we got to start small. No, you're right.
I don't care if it changes or not. Then some folks feel like it's cool how it is. Then some folks won't change. So that goes back to the individualism I was talking about.
Oh, right.
So that's why I was like, a lot of this shit like, what I'm saying? It's great.
So it just basically opinion, a perception, a point of view.
Yeah.
True.
Right. Because it's, from a totality point, from like a nationwide look, I feel like, black people as a race, I feel like we getting in the right direction. I really do, because where we at right now is so many blacks in so many prominent positions, you got certain cities, like, you just take a left right up the road.
But the truth about that is, part of that's part of the problem. That's part of the problem, because what's going on with that is...
What problem?
Okay, now, due to us being able to continue to entertain...
You keep talking about... I'm not talking about entertainment. I'm talking about as far as black people in key prominence, like the last... I can't remember a time when the mayor of Atlanta wasn't black. When the last time was a white mayor. You feel what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, you go to Atlanta, right up the street, in that city, like, from the top to the bottom, everything black.
Everything black.
You know what I'm saying? So Charlotte is the same way. It's been like that. I went to Charlotte back in like 94, and it was just black people running everything. So you got a lot of cities that black people got key roles, you know what I mean? And key positions.
And that's why we don't have key banks and key stores and key schools in our neighborhood, because we have been pacified. We have been pacified by these accolades of professional sports, government positions. You know what I mean? And we've been pacified by those accolades, and we're not getting. We stopped chasing civil rights to the point of where Kapernick got to take a knee now to stand back up for civil rights. We don't even try to fight for no equality because we feel like we equal because we don't see a black president. But we understand now that that black president just had a term of 8 years and never really, he represented America, black America, not the real black community.
That wasn't his job. His job was to be the president.
Right, but I'm saying
everybody president. He wasn't just the black people president. He just so happened to be half black. You know what I mean? So that was the problem. A lot of black people looking at him for some kind of savior, but he wasn't. A lot of white people, a lot of Mexican people voted for this man, so he got to go up there and speak on behalf for everybody. He got to fight for the rights of everybody.
That's true. But we see
people were looking at it.
What we did not do.
Perspective.
They just looking at it like trying to see what he done for black people.
Exactly. Right. He did a lot.
But
he did. But like you said, he gotta do it for everybody.
But the truth about that is, okay, now with Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, where these kids got shot up, now these kids pushing back, and they pushed back, and guess what they did? They did not peacefully protest in their community and tear down a liquor store. What they do? They marched from the high school to the Capitol and said, we want to speak to Congress. Guess what they did? They went on the highest platform on news and opened a stadium for these students and created a town hall platform for them. We did not do that when Obama came in office. So we didn't pressure our black president to the point of where he said, you know what? I'm gonna get Congress together and we finna make some change right now. Even though Donald Trump is saying put more guns in the school, he still is willing to make a change and start the debate to make change, pressured by these students doing it the right way. They did not protest peacefully. They started a movement, and these people opened a stadium and packed the stadium out for a town hall meeting that would have took a small building in the banquet room of a motel. You feel what I'm saying? They had a stadium for a town hall meeting with a huge platform stage in the middle with CNN, Fox, all the major news media covering it. They did not go to their own neighborhood and tear it down. They went to the government directly past all the city councilmen and all the mediators for the government. They went straight to the government. When we had our black president, we sat back and was like, we got a black president, turn to BET. We didn't put no pressure on Obama. And that's what Obama said.
But
he can't make any change for us when we're not pressuring for change.
That's my point. When you
That's
go,
what I'm
when you
saying.
go to them, you got to know what you want done. You want to know what you want changed. You got to go with.
We do. We still know what we want. But what I'm saying is
What
the
do we
reason
want?
but the reason
What
why
do
we
you want?
did
I
not
don't know.
pursue it, first of all, because
What do we want?
first of all, we don't want to be pacified with American corporations, American government positions, or professional accolades or trophies from professional
What
sports.
do we want then?
We really want some kind of equality, but
I don't care about that shit.
you don't care nothing
A lot
about
of
it.
black folk don't.
You
What
true.
about it? I don't give a fuck about it. I don't stand for that shit. I didn't even care nothing about the pledge. You know what? When them folk took the pledge out and the praying to Jesus Christ, that was the best shit they ever did in life when it comes to school. A lot of people like, why they do that? It made all the sense in the world. You feel what I'm saying? Why they did it, you know what I mean? And I feel like they did it and it was good. And to be honest, they didn't just take the whole damn what that shit called, the national anthem. They just take that shit out of sport.
That's what I was
That
thinking.
shit don't got anything to do with sport.
True.
Just remove.
You know
That's what I'm saying. If you're gonna take Jesus out of school, take the national anthem out of
Yeah,
sports.
You got to. And the main reason.
That's crazy.
And this why I broke it down. A lot of folks didn't understand why they took Jesus from school. This what you gotta look. America is a country, it's a free country. So that means it's a freedom of religion. So if I'm a Muslim or if I'm a Buddhist, I don't want my kid praying to no fucking Jesus Christ. You feel me?
Right.
But
The separation of the church and
you
state.
feel what I'm saying? So it's like some folk atheists or some folk whatever. So you can't make them pray to your God.
Yeah.
You feel that's blasphemous. You know what I mean? From what they believe in. So you take all that shit out the equation because 50 to 60 to damn near 80% of people don't even believe in Jesus Christ.
But the crazy thing about that is, okay,
don't
they just took
nobody.
prayer and Jesus out of school because you can't force nobody, right? According to these standards, to worship who you worship.
Yeah, don't do that.
But we did it for 400, 500 years.
And to me, that was the big problem. You got these black people believing in a white image of a white man with long hair and blue eyes. That's some bullshit, man. Nah, don't do that. Because if you gotta look at it like this. This is how I look at it. I'm not saying Jesus wasn't real, but I don't believe in that white Jesus bullshit. And the reason I don't, I think it crippled the black man.
Oh yeah.
I did
Of course.
big thing on my YouTube. You go check it out. It's called basically the death of white Jesus. Because what I'm saying is, anytime I go to a black church and they got a picture of white Jesus on there, I just go the other way. Because you gotta look at it. If you a young kid, a young black kid, seeing this image of God, and it's the image of a white man, and they tell you this is your savior, this who gonna save you.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? And all this and that.
But every time.
So when you grow up, all you see is these white judge
and the white man having the high positions,
white president. You know what I'm saying? Just all the high positions. So you gonna grow up feeling like the white man is superior to you. So this is a form of white supremacy that's being pushed upon you.
So we don't start with the church?
You start at home.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Fuck the church. The church is the one putting this bullshit in there. They preaching this shit to you. They got these images up.
I would just love to hear. I would just love to hear our vibrant preachers preach the real.
But it's not the real because they preaching the contradiction. Because you read the Bible, the first thing.
I'm not saying. That's not what I'm saying. But I want them to preach the real. Like I said, they just like Malcolm X was before he found out the real deal. And they even when Malcolm X found out what was really going on after he made his pilgrimage, they really turned him up. It didn't do nothing but put more fire up under him. So that's what I'm saying. It's not nothing wrong with our preachers. It's
a lot wrong with
It's the doctrine that they're preaching from.
Yeah, too.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, too.
Because a lot of them don't listen. Like Malcolm X, somebody like him, and the reason why I go back to him is somebody like him that was just straight, had blinders on and would go pick a lock and go rob him. Talking about the most dangerous person you ever can think of that's crazy enough to do something like that. And then you can tame that spirit and have him vibrantly preaching on the corner and getting members, right? That's that same person that you need to be spreading the truth. Yep. That's why I say we start there. Because that's where they started at. That's where we started at. We started right there with our spirituality because they understood that because we were stronger than them. Physically, you can't beat us.
When you say start there, what you gonna do? When you say start at the church. Would change the curriculum, what they teaching it on?
I mean, ain't that part of the problem?
I feel like it is.
Me too.
But
that's all I'm saying.
My point is.
And see, we had to tiptoe around that subject because it's so touchy. You feel what I'm saying? But the truth is, that's it.
But the thing about that,
that's it. And like I said, they congregate some of the most upstanding members of our community that really can make a difference.
You can't. One thing about my granddad always told me, politics and religion, them two things you down there ain't gonna never get everybody to agree on the same level. So with that being said, you might got your ideology, I got my own different ideology. So I can't go up in this default church and try to change what the hell they talking about. You feel what I'm saying? So all I can do is
it start with the people. Like
it start with the
people gotta quit believing certain things. They gotta remove themselves from that church and realize they being taught.
But see, the thing about it though, it's a lot of good in what being. It's like,
it's good things have happened.
It's like this, right?
Great things have happened.
It's like this with the word of God, right? I don't want to turn this to no religious debate or talk, but it's just like this with the word of God. No matter what doctrination you coming out of, all of it got good. It's got some good in it. You know what I mean? The intent is supposed to be good. You feel what I'm saying? Whether you're coming from the Bible or the Quran or the Apocrypha or the Kabbalah, and so forth and so forth. The Holy Tablet, all of they all, designed for good. It's a faith-based, what I'm saying, doctrine for a faith-based religion. You know what I'm saying? It's all about how you take it and then, what I'm saying, put it out there, right? Me personally, I'm committed. You feel what I'm saying? So being committed, right? I can understand where everybody, coming from. You feel what I'm saying? Because I follow behind, the Most High God. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these other God, these people are believing in and following, I I ain't gonna say they not the right or the true, because I'm not, that's not for me to say. You feel what I'm saying? All I'm saying is that people, they got to draw, they got to get out of it what they can. Meaning, I might read this, all four might read this script, and we all might take something away from it differently. You feel what I'm saying? But it's all about what's good for you. Yeah. But now what I say was bad is when they put whatever they put out there, it's a direct contradiction to what the actual scripts say. Right. You feel what I'm saying? When the scripts say that Jesus Christ, this Messiah, this Savior that everybody, worshiping on it, when the scripture tell you that he got the color of bronze and hair like wool, you know what I'm saying? Then the geographical location, all this describing a black man. So when you put an image of a white man up there, and then the scripture tells you don't worship a false idol, many go come in my name and say they from me, but they not. The scripture telling you all this, but you still worshiping a false idol. So that's the only problem I got with Christianity as a whole. Yeah. It's the image of white Jesus that they putting out there making you idolize. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. Because it's doing something to you on a subconscious and psychological level. Right. You feel what I'm saying? And that's it. But because if they had the picture depicted as the scripture actually say, and it would be a man of color, I wouldn't have no problem with it. Yeah. Because I'm not this. Who am I to say whether it's real or not? I wasn't around back then. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? But when the scriptures say this, it's just like when you go to the police and you telling them folk who robbed you for your damn wallet. You go describe the man. They gonna have somebody go sketch it out. Right. They go down there and get it close. Right. So when the Bible telling you what he looked like, how the hell you come over with something so opposite?
Yo, how you missed that?
That shit was intentional.
Right.
Yo, it was intentional.
Man. That's all.
It was intentional. Then when you go to really looking at the name Jesus, you feel what I'm saying? It's really deriving off of Zeus. You feel what I'm saying? Zeus, Greek mythology was God. You feel what I'm saying? God stands for Theos, another word for Zeus, like Pegasus, Adonis. All these were sons of Zeus, sons of God. So Jesus, son of God. Jesus spelled J-E-Z-U-S in Russian. You feel what I'm saying? But it's son of Zeus. All that shit is pagan if you really want to get into it. You feel what I'm saying? But that's a whole another topic. But so what I'm saying is the teachings are all wrong. So he is right. You do got to start with the church. But when you go in there, I feel like that's really the only level that you can really try to correct. Because if you try to bring them totally, if you try to go in there and just bash everything, the whole foundation like a lot of people be doing, you gonna meet, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna be friction right there. Right. You're gonna meet opposition.
I mean, any person without a level of righteous spirituality is just, headed for doom. And I mean, and there is no good outcome for that, and my point was that we just need to start there because it has such a hold on our community. My thing is, and 3 simple things we can do on a long list of things, other than that is, number 1, change the way we think. Number 2, change the way we dress. Number 3, change the way we eat. And just those 3 can start creating something different for us. You know what I mean? Those little kids looking up to an actor that's black and a king from the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie. Not a drug dealer that turned into a crackhead or a crackhead or a killer or a basketball player or some of these other negative roles. Not saying basketball player negative roles, but it was just a good visual for us to see ourselves playing that role. You know what I mean?
I think more directors and stuff need to
start taking that.
Yeah,
Right. I mean,
from that perspective.
but you know, the truth is, like you said, we have those things in our community. We do have those roles and we do have those movies, but a lot of time they're downplayed and they don't get the big promotion or big marketing like Black Panther movie did, or the big budget. You true, and that's part that goes in the budget. Your marketing goes in the budget.
Behind this movie.
Right. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
200 million.
That was
Right. You're right. There's a lot of roles you were talking about. It's a lot of stereotypical roles of black people.
Denzel Washington, one of the best black actors that we have, had to play training. They had to play a gangster, a crooked cop. After he played all these good cops, had to play a crooked cop. After all this time to really get that notary, and he a good actor, but I'm saying like that's why Black Panther was so fine. That's what we have to do and change that image. That was a good visual, but it's still gonna take a lot of time. And I say we start with the church, because I mean I don't have all the answers, and truthfully on that level I'm looking for that spiritual guidance, and I know that it's not the Caucasian Jesus, you know what I mean? That, you know what I mean? I'm saying I know that it's not that.
And that's the reason a lot of folks, I see the thing.
That's that Nat Turner. That's what it made me turn into Nat Turner.
They were trying to figure out why so many people, especially young African Americans, between the ages of like 28 to like 18, that little age bracket right there, why they just not fucking with Christianity, they just totally turning away.
A lot of young kids, 90 babies and the millennial babies, 2000 babies, don't read the Bible at all.
That's why, because they can't
possess no level
they
of
can't relate to it, and they know it through days.
And but that's exactly what I meant. Without the level of spirituality, we see how dangerous we are. Because without that spirituality, there's some dangerous brothers out here. And Brother Malcolm, before that level of spirituality, was the same way. He was dangerous out here. But when he got that, he was dangerous in a different way. Now how do you gauge that?
I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying? He was dangerous in another way, because the power of the tongue, when he actually was awoken and seen the light, you know, it was different when he was bringing brothers out of them streets, rather than recruiting brother for the streets. So back to where are our leaders? Our leaders are out here, but they're just recruiting us for the wrong things and leading us in the wrong direction.
Okay, I'm with you now.
You see what I'm saying?
Now
The leaders out here now, they definitely out here our strongest and our brightest minds. But when is rap music gonna take a turn like Black Panther did? In the level of entertainment, because that's where we stuck at. On that level of entertainment, we stuck right there.
It start with the radio, though.
Right. It start. No. It start with the artists, because if you have more artists,
individual though.
you true.
The individual.
You true.
Because there's powerful artists out here, but they not
made. The
made.
record label saying, listen, we only want this kind of music. If you don't make it, then you get no deal.
Season number 2, we just switching gears a little bit. Since we've been on the subject a lot about the Black Panther movement, because it's very relevant in the black community right now, and also
check it out.
It's the Hollywood community on movies and such. Speaking of which, I just wanted to ask y'all, who do y'all think, for opinion wise, what artists coming from the hip hop community has made the biggest splash, making that transition from being an actor or a director, just in movies, film, and just on the whole Hollywood frontier?
Right. I feel like Ice Cube started out. I think he was a visionary, had a brilliant mind from the beginning with NWA, and seeing the story kind of shed some light on his background with being the writer for the group, and part of the thought process or the brainstormer in that group, and it really manifested into what he's doing right now, which is not just acting. He has his production team, a recording company, like they doing he doing records and movies and sitcoms. He's still acting on the low, and he's still doing a lot, man. So Ice Cube, in my opinion, that's
shout out to Ice Cube. Shout out to the Big
sir.
Three.
O'Shea
basketball
Jackson, his
league.
son, just played in the things.
Yeah, he got the. I say Ice Cube. Shout out to him. He got the basketball league Big Three. They debuted last year. This year gonna be season number 2.
Right.
It comes up during
Big move.
the off season of the NBA. You got the former NBA players participating in that thing. It's on FX Sports, so that's a big deal. But my opinion, Cube, that's a hard one to argue with. But being that you picked Cube, I'm gonna go another direction.
Give me one.
And it's I debated long and hard with this one. I almost went Queen Latifah.
Oh,
I almost did. Almost did.
Okay.
Almost
That's
went-
tough. That's a tough
Almost did.
pick. Shout out to Queen Latifah.
You know what? It's between her and Will Smith for me.
Woo! Why you killed him?
But
You killed him with Will.
oh man.
Only thing killed Will.
The only thing,
It's only one thing.
I want to say Will, but my biasness, I'm gonna go Queen Latifah just because of my biasness. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm gonna go with the Queen because Flavor Unit, her company, been around for a long time. They've been doing stuff for a long time. You know, shout out to Queen Latifah.
I'm gonna Google her network.
Shout out to
Queen Latifah been getting money for a long time.
Living single, you know what I'm saying? That series does.
Since UNITY, my boy rocking the poof or whatever she had on her head. Whatever, man, that was a signature.
Countless movies and such. And then recently, she had hit them again with that new series she came out
Sitcom with Lee Daniels.
His name was Star. And his name was something like that. I think it is Star, but that's the new one she came out with, you know, and then she got some other stuff going on right now. You know, she keeps something going on,
Most definitely.
you know. So shout out to Queen Latifah, man. I wanted to go Will Smith, but I'm gonna go Queen Latifah.
Will Smith is that dude. Shout out to Will Smith too, because Will Smith definitely took that rap to a whole nother level in acting, and his level of acting, he took it to a whole nother level, and you know, his impact is great, because when you get, now, one thing I can say about Will and Ice Cube that we can't say about Queen Latifah is their kids are acting, and they do have a very good representation of the black family. And how that black family has manifested into like a great family, and set a model, you know, for other black families to kind of look up at and say, wow, you know, wow, they got a real family, and they doing things on a very high level that we used to seeing, you know, other people doing. So we can't say that about Queen Latifah, but she's still doing her thing.
Shout out to Will, Jada, Willow, and Jaden. Go get Jaden's new music, man. He music. I feel with it.
I rock with Jaden, man, and I like the fact that they are just blessed with the opportunity to be just 100% independently creative. You know what I mean? Just when they in their own lane, they just have a chance to figure it out, and we need more of that in our community with, you know, some righteous leadership.
You say, Papa?
Will Smith was my choice, man. Definitely shout out to Queen Latifah and, you know, Ice Cube.
But them about the top 3 that I could
I ain't think nobody gonna say Will, cause
shout out,
matter
of fact, honorable mention, shout out my partner 50 Cent, man.
Doing
that thing on Power Season 5 on the way, BMF on the way, Dinner D's out now, you know. So
I feel like I don't know, I kind of feel like Will Smith is a little bit more polished actor. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
That kind of why I wanted to go with him.
Will like, he'll do that.
And you know, Snoop.
But he kind of
Snoop not really directing like my boys. You know, Snoop got a podcast though. He got a podcast out there. I like his podcast.
I don't even think Snoop on the level of Tyrese or Luka. I think they pay Snoop.
Yeah, you right. Yeah.
You got a lot.
Bro, it's a lot of
You
them.
got IT, it's a bunch of them now.
They really.
I had to do some research. And there's some stuff that shocked me.
Yeah. A lot of them, but like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of them doing their thing on that tip, man. Because I think it's a natural transition. Because you come up in music, you in front of the camera all the time,
Right.
and a lot of the video they directing themselves, before the treatment of it. You know what I'm saying?
You got to think about another honorable mention. You got to think about Tupac too.
Oh yeah, shout out to Paul. That's
It's a lot. It's a lot of.
rapping, acting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Now he's one of the ones
he
that.
one of the pioneers.
Yeah, he was great at both.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Really good. Oh,
He was a Deion Sanders.
Oh,
rap.
But he started out in theater though.
oh, exactly.
Yeah,
All the
yeah.
move I didn't like.
And poetry,
Probably Gridlock. That's the only move that I didn't like.
That was one of the ones I really liked. I like Tupac strung out. Like Tupac was just all over the place. You know what I mean?
Lord, you,
Right.
real poetic, just all
Yeah,
right there.
that was great. Awesome question on his part, man. Definitely did his thing, and had he not, suffered from untimely death, I definitely do think Pac would have changed, and or just manifested the same way Ice Cube did. I mean, and it's kind of crazy because there's a control. It seems like there's such a controlled lane because we're still entertaining, but at the same time, we controlling. A lot of like Ice Cube controlling a lot of stuff that he do.
Yeah.
Will Smith got a lot of control over their moves, and he doing a lot of directing. And Will Smith is actually one of the ones that go back into our black history of people that are still living and make movies about it.
Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah.
Like actual, you go back and look at the facts. Like when you say talk about religion, and you go back to Egypt and look at the facts compared to trying to go back and look at the facts on everything else in that subject.
Yeah.
Will Smith go back to the facts. Dr. Ben O'Malley was the concussion doctor that made it all that.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Man, Concussion was that movie, and it was so real and organic, man. I was
That's
like,
to me, I ain't gonna lie, that was my favorite Will Smith movie.
That was one of the ones for me
I'm
too.
not no fan of the Wild Wild West.
no.
I like Will Smith and Bad Boy, and I like Will Smith and Concussion.
Pursuit of Happiness.
Pursuit of Happiness.
Man, like, and he went back and got the real history on this dude. This man was still living. So
My brother said that dude is actually in the movie.
yeah, he walked up
like
at the end. He walked up
yeah.
at the end. Yeah.
I never knew that either.
Yeah.
And it was
That's a phenomenal
Right.
movie.
But there's a black man who created medicine, man. Shout out to Pharaoh Imhotep. He was the creator of medicine. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So, rest in peace, Dr. Sippy. He was Sylvie, however you want to pronounce it. He was a hell of a dude too.
Right.
I kind of think they knocked him off, but that's a whole nother time. But we finna get ready to wrap it up. But before I wrap it up, I gotta get a quick plug in. Every Saturday, check me out. Self-Made Radio, new radio station from 6 to 8. I'll be going live. Got a couple co-hosts go help me out here and there. You know what I mean? But yeah, check us out, man. New radio,
new double salute on that one.
You know what I'm saying? We're trying to expand the brand, man, to keep this thing moving. I'm grateful for the opportunity, you know what I'm saying, internet radio station. I am a rap artist, this is one of my hats that I wear. So I feel like that's a great opportunity for me to play my music, to play other people's music from around this area that otherwise wouldn't get heard. You know what I mean? So if you out there, you're an artist, you're trying to get your music played on the radio, the Atlanta's #1 internet radio station, get at me, I got you. Trying to get an interview, get at me, I got you.
Man, give me the info one more time, man, just in case they're in here.
New radio station. You can download the app, or you can follow the Facebook page on Facebook at New Radio. Visit the website at New Radio. You can email us at givemeyourmusic.com. givemeyourmusic@gmail.com. Follow us on all social media platforms. Shout out to Mook B, one of the members of D4L. There's It's his radio station, New Radio, his brainchild that he created probably about 5-6 years ago. He was staying down with it, you know. So I'm just grateful for the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Looking to expand on that right there.
Right. And I would like to say shout out to my mom that was here today for the cut. This is my set, Joe Fade, the Barbershop Talk. Man, actually, this is the first time that I actually sit in my chair in probably 6 months. I never sit in my chair. And shout out to Fade2Blacc HipHop Podcast. Man, signing off, double salute, Joey Popoff. And man, tell me what y'all think about this little corner I got over here, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to on YouTube. Fade2Blacc HipHop Podcast. Hit that notification bell. Man, just like that, man. We out this guy.